Come on in. Welcome to Live from Your Soul. I hope that you have been living from your soul after you have been listening to the recordings. Our soul is our entire mind. And when we can have peace in our soul, we can have peace in every area of our lives. And that is why living from our soul is so important. I am Dr. Shaheerah Stevens. I am the CEO of Transforming Love Community. We are a collective. We are several ministers and teachers. We have been teaching how to make your life better for over 26 years. Today, my topic is accessing your desires through the back door. Accessing your desires through the back door. We all have longings. We all have desires. And I know that sometimes we wonder, why is it taking so long for this manifestation to come into fruition? Well, sometimes it is because of unconscious objections. We have one mind with three different parts: the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious. And the subconscious is where the power really is. And in the subconscious mind, sometimes there's an objection going on to what we're even affirming. I know I've done affirmations before, especially in the beginning, without the understanding I have today. And after I spoke the affirmation, a thought could come up, that ain't going to happen. Why are you continuing with that trend of thought? Oh, that happens to other people, not to you. There is an unconscious objection that is going on, and sometimes that's the block. So today, my intention is to give you we can call it a game, because that's what we used to call this, appreciation game. And I think I like calling it a game because I know that we need to have more fun. Even though things are very serious on the planet right now, that's more of a reason why we need to have more fun. Often we have these unconscious. That word unconscious is important for us to think about just for a second, because it means that we're not conscious of it. It means that something is going on that we might not even be aware of. So there's parts of us, sometimes there's parts of us that feels unworthy, even when we've done a lot of work on ourselves. There's parts of us that feel, I'm not good enough for that, or I'm not good enough, period. And they're lies. They're lies. They're lies. And even though they're lies, they can become a block to our fulfillment. Even though, in the book of Hebrews, we are told that it's a finished work. We are told that the Hebrew people couldn't enter into the promised land. And this is a metaphor. They couldn't enter in because they didn't mix it with faith. They didn't have faith. Do you have faith? And what do you have faith in? What do you believe about the Creator? That's very important. You are worthy. You are worthy not because of your achievements and not because you are so good, but just like grace. We can't earn grace, and you cannot earn your worthiness. You are worthy because of what you are. Spirit, pressed out of the body of God with all of the same faculties that God has. We are God with a little g. And if you're desiring a home, health, a mate, better relationships in your family, whatever it is that you are desiring, that word desire means of God, of the Father. So, it's spirit saying, this is what I am ready to do through you. Will you allow me? Remember that the whole tree is in the seed. And that's what God gives us through these longings, through these flashes. We get a seed, but the whole tree is in there, and we don't know how to unfold it. Most of the times I see so many people, they're running around like a chicken with its head off, trying to make it happen, trying to manipulate, trying to get to know this one, trying to do that and the other, when God already has the plan. Jeremiah 29 says, I know the plans I have for you. It also says, and they're good. So, your Creator designed you specifically and intricately for whatever you came on this planet to express, whatever you came to be, whatever you came to do. Sometimes we don't even have a clear picture of all of those layers and those facets. So that's why it's so good to have a guide, and that guide is within you. The creation of the Creator is the Creator's responsibility. The creation of the Creator is the Creator's responsibility. We are God's responsibility. But many of us don't listen to God. We're listening to ourselves. We're not even looking to a higher power, a higher anything, because so many people think that they got it. They know it. You didn't make yourself. You did not make yourself. And there's a knower on the inside of you. God is so good. The Creator is so gracious. And we know the Creator has many names. But we don't have to get hung up in that. As my friend says, we're all going to New York, Shaheerah. Just some people are going to go on a bus. Some going to go on a plane. Some going to walk. But we're all going to the same place. One God. Many ways of looking at it. It's still one. So what do you believe? For real, for real, for real. What do you believe? In your particular situation, what are you believing about the outcome? Are you believing that the outcome is going to end up better than you can imagine? Or do you believe that the outcome is going to be awful? Because according to your belief system is how this whole thing is going to play out. Yep, we do have that much power because that is the power that our Creator gave us. What do you believe? Now, don't answer that with what you think you should say. Do you believe that you're loved unconditionally? That's a big issue for a lot of people. They don't believe that they're really loved, or they believe that they're only loved when they do certain things because they have the God of their understanding as a transactional God, as a punishing God. That's not the God of my understanding. The God of my understanding is that God is love. The God of my understanding is that God is an invisible spirit with no color. Hello? So check your belief system. What are you believing? What are you believing regarding your relationships? There are so many people saying they want relationships. However, their languaging doesn't necessarily sound like they do. Not when they're saying in the same breath that there are no good men out here. There are no good women out here. Come on. What do you believe? That's going to be your experience. Money. What do you believe about that? Money is just an effect. Although people have made money their God, everything that is visible, it comes out of the invisible family. Check your belief system. Our real source is invisible. It's not a job. It's not a business. It's not a career. It's not a church. It's not a spouse. Our real source is God. By that name, God, Creator, Most High, Higher Power, it can be called a lot of things. But we're going to get this understanding That is our core beliefs that's creating our reality. Now, before I talk a little bit about this appreciation game, I'm going to talk about forgiveness. I always talk about forgiveness because it's my belief that forgiveness is always first, to clear out yourself, forgive you, and forgive everybody. I believe that that's why the law of attraction has not worked for a lot of people, because they think that they can just do a vision board or they can have some affirmations and things are going to just work. No. You can't hold negativity in your heart against yourself or others and think that these other laws are going to work. That is not the way that they work. So here's the hack. Here's the hack to speed up your manifestations in your world. Here's how we're going to go through the back door and move past the unconscious objections. So first of all, what is it that you are desiring? Get clear about that. Get clear about the desires of your heart. The scripture tells us that Most High will give us the desires of our heart, and Most High will, after we are aligned with the Most High. So think about whatever it is that you are desiring and begin to appreciate it manifested. Begin to appreciate it as if it has already manifested. Begin to appreciate it as if it has already manifested, because it has. If you have that longing in the spiritual realm, it has already manifested. Now, this is how this works, this appreciation game. When I was manifesting an assistant, I did the appreciation game before she came. And these are the kinds of things that I wrote down. I really appreciate her being so efficient. I really appreciate her being honest. And it really wasn't a her, because I didn't know whether it was going to be male or female. It just ended up being a her. I really appreciate that we get along so well. I really appreciate that this person is so dependable. And then I moved into my why. Why was I manifesting this? I had a need. And the need was going to make me more effective in ministry. And therefore, it was going to make me more effective in what God brought me here to do. And so this is why it became God's responsibility. That's right. So I appreciate it. I wrote it down. And as I was appreciating, what was I doing? I was imprinting. These desires. I was seeing it in the unified field. I was seeing it in the quantum field. I was seeing it in the kingdom of heaven. Yeshua says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and it'll be added unto you. So I was hanging out in the quantum. I was hanging out in the unified field, imprinting my desires there. And quantum physics tells us that if you focus long enough, it's going to pop. My son and I did a whole webinar on that, and soon we'll be putting out a flyer for those who weren't at the webinar if they still want to get it. And if you would like to get it, just inbox me and I can tell you how you can get that webinar. It's really important, especially in this new dispensation, because we are in a dispensation where everything is new and where we need to be innovative and where we need a guide to guide us into spiritual realms. We're in a spiritual dispensation. So while you're appreciating and you're observing, you're feeling, and you are embodying. And Abraham Hicks, in a lot of her presentations, especially back in the day, she would explain that it only takes 68 seconds to bring something out of the invisible to the visible. 68 seconds of concentrated focus. And most people say, oh, that's nothing. I can focus for 68 seconds. Yep, you probably can. And here's the piece though. If there's unconscious objections going on, that's interfering with the focus. And this is why going through the back door is so effective, because while you are appreciating, and you can appreciate, you can sit down and write for 68 seconds. You can sit down and write for 2 minutes or 5 minutes. And while you're doing that, you are bypassing the unconscious objections that are at the front door. You're going through the back door. And so there's nothing objecting because you're in appreciation mode. You're in a already done mode. And this is how you can draw it forward. I hope that you're following me, y'all. Anyway, it is about you appreciating and understanding that it is already done. Allow the Spirit to work for you. The knower knows. There are variables that we don't know about. There are people that we haven't met yet. So we want to learn how to trust this process. We want to remember how much we are loved. We want to remember that this is nothing that we have to earn, that we're already worthy because of what we are. Thank you, God. Start appreciating. Start appreciating even before you see a sign of anything. It's like thinking again about the why, because the why of whatever we are desiring is real important. And remember this too. I thought about this yesterday, and that is when we are describing, it is a form of prayer. It's a form of focus. Where our attention goes is where the power flows. You can go through the back door of your desires by appreciating. Let's start appreciating. Let's walk through the back door of our desires. If these podcasts are of value to you, would you please consider giving to Transforming Love Community? Transforming Love Community. This is the ministry that Most High birthed through me over 26 years ago. Go to www.transforminglovecommunity.com and know that your financial expression of appreciation is greatly valued and appreciated. Until next time, remember, live from your soul, because the soul knows, the knower knows, and the knower shows. And that's the way it really is. God bless you.